So let's talk about cardigan patterns, specifically Simplicity 1108.
You know where to find me.
So today I am going to do a pattern review on this pattern. It is actually a very versatile pattern because it has a number of views. So I only stitched up view C, which is the duster cardigan version. And if you want a step-by-step sew along, I did one over at Minerva, and I will link it down below for you so that you can stitch that up. But before you click away from this video, just stay and hear about my thoughts on stitching this up and if I would make it again. So let's get into the difficulty of this pattern. This is part of the Simplicity Easy to Sew line of patterns, and it really is true to the name. It is easy to sew. The instructions are pretty good for a big 4 pattern. You have a number of different diagrams, and you also have a number of different views to choose from. Stitching this up is pretty quick. Now I did the duster version, which is a fairly simple version of this, and it didn't take me long. You could get this done in an afternoon if you're efficient with your sewing and cutting. Now, in terms of the views that we have quite a few. So we have view A, which is about a mid-thigh length cardigan, and it actually has a sweeping rounded front that comes down the neckline, kind of giving more of like that balloon bubble shape to it. Then you have view B, which is exactly the same as view A, except for the fact that it is slightly shorter and the band that they have is actually in a contrasting color. So you can have a contrasting band go along the front of that. View C is the one that I made, which is a simple one that goes with a nice straight front, and we've got these nice big sort of grown on sleeves that come in, and I really like this because it gives a lot of versatility and it has some nice extra warmth to it when it is a bit longer. And then we have view D. Now view D has 2 options. They are exactly the same. They're just the shorter version of the duster that I decided to do. And the only difference between the 2 versions is being able to have the contrasting placket color on the front of it. And I really like the fact that they have a number of different shapes within one single pattern. So it's not just the same shape at different lengths. You're actually changing up the entire front of that and giving you 3 different lengths and 2 different shaped fronts, giving you a lot of variety in terms of what it is that you want to create with this pattern. Because you could create multiple different garments using the same pattern and they would look so different, even if you were using the same style of fabric with it. Now, one of the things that I really liked on this that you don't see in a lot of the cardigan patterns is it actually uses bias tape for the edges. It actually gives a really pretty inside look on this. And even in the instructions, they talk about understitching that bias tape to give a beautiful hemline. Beautiful instructions, absolutely love that. Never skip your understitching. And with this, I really like this better than that double fold over band, and then you've got that big bulky seam. It helps it to lie really nice and flat and look quite lovely when worn and is not bulky with those additional seams. It also adds a bit of stability because we're using a knit fabric and it does stretch. The fact that we are binding both the sleeves, the bottom, and the entire front here with that bias tape is it provides stability and structure within this to help that garment lie really nicely. Now, the one thing that I thought was just a wee bit odd on this is it has a center back seam. It did not need to be cut on the center back. Now, I did it because I was doing a full sewing tutorial on how to stitch this up. But if I were to make this again, I would just cut that back seam on the fold. Then you don't have to worry about any sort of pattern matching, which I didn't do because I didn't have enough fabric to do the pattern matching. And you have one less seam to sew. Now, the only reason you might want to do this is for a style detail if it's maybe a solid fabric and you want that seam line in the back as a style element. But on a printed fabric like this one, I probably would have foregone that seam and just had it cut on the fold and saved one step. You know, you're only saving a couple of minutes in that, but a couple of minutes are a couple of minutes. Now, I am on the hunt for the perfect cardigan pattern, and I've sewn up a number of different cardigans. And I was wondering, what are your tried and true or favorite cardigan patterns that you go to? Both the cropped versions as well as the long duster versions. I love them all. I love having a great layering piece, and really would love your feedback on which ones are your favorite. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're not already a member here at the Stitch Society, that is my membership for sewists, where I teach you how to sew, as well as offer some freebie patterns. And of course, there are my paid patterns on there with full sewing tutorials as well. So head on over to sheerstitchery.com and become a free member. And I will see you in the next one. Until next time, makers, let's get our sewspiration on.